welcome, Devil Sniper here, and today I am bringing you episode number 13 of our career mode with West Ham United. Come on, the Irons, can we do this? It's the big one, another huge test. We passed the Chelsea test, we passed the Manchester United test. Question is, can we beat Tottenham at Tottenham? This is a proper top of the table clash. As you can see, Spurs are in 4th position, 24 points, 6 points behind us on the same amount of games. We do have that magnificent plus 15. We haven't scored a lot, but we don't concede many at all. I think we conceded 2, 3, 4 goals in the games so far, but we've scored about 18, I think, 17, 16, something like that, but we don't concede, which is absolutely fantastic. We are defensively astute. We're top of the table. Chelsea have just dipped off. Obviously beating them hasn't done them the world of good. That's given them a bit of a dip in form, but they are still keeping on our coattails, but hopefully we can keep ahead of them. But a nice ball into Lennon in the early part of the game, straight in, really misses the header, and of course Jackson Martinez is there to give Tottenham a 1-0 lead. And I feel if Reedy just took one extra step or one extra second before he headed the ball, he would put it over the crossbar. It would have been cleared, but it wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. But Valencia picking up that ball, knocks it into Embolo. Embolo on his left foot, squirms it wide from about 20-25 yards. And then Chiarte gifts the ball to Ericsson for Tottenham, sloppy with the possession. Ericsson knocks it into Paulinho. Paulinho into Jackson Martinez, who plays it onto Chadley. A great shot, but a huge save by the Spanish keeper, Adrian, who is absolutely God's gift to keeping. And then Downing, 28th minute, opens up his legs. It just opens up. The pitch opens up. He bombs forward, tries to dribble his way through the defence. Fazinho gives the ball back to him. Downing gets into the box, pulls the trigger, but Fazio, I called him Fazinho, I have no idea why. Fazio manages to get a foot on there and blocks it. And a huge header from Spurs, again saved by Adrian, really keeping us in the game. But Carroll with a delightful reverse chip ball into Chiarte. Chiarte muscles his way through, pulls the trigger with the left foot, but a huge save from the Spurs keeper Lloris there. And that's the way the first half would finish. I've got to say, I was really angry at the first half. I felt we were awful. We didn't put our own stamp on the game. We gave them too much time in midfield. We stood off them from a defensive point of view, and it just wasn't good enough. And I took the moment to make a change with Yusuf Poulsen coming on in the 80th minute to take the big man AC off, as he just wasn't getting involved in the game, and time was ebbing away as Spurs literally were just trying to lock up the shot at the end of the day. Matthews played the ball onto Tompkins. Tompkins into Crezes. Crezes plays the ball forward to Noble. Noble to Chiarte. Chiarte into Valencia. Valencia into Yusuf Poulsen. Poulsen bombing forward, plays a delightful ball into Valencia, into the box, but a huge save from Lloris there to keep Spurs ahead 1-0. We pick it up with Noble, playing the ball forward into Creswell. Creswell into Valencia. Valencia plays a delightful ball to Downing. Downing onto his right foot, and he just puts it wide off the post. Such a big moment in the game. We started to come to life at the end of the game, which is just too late. It's not good enough. The game would finish with Spurs leading after that early goal from Martinez, and the man of the match has to be Stuart Downing. It was so close. I should have gone probably with Adrian, because he did pull off 3, maybe 4 massive saves, but Downing was always a consistent threat, an absolute consistent threat, and he was just an absolute revelation. So he got man of the match. We're going to have a look at some of the youth squad reports, see how the boys are progressing. We've had some of these lads for a good few months now, you know, so there's some in there who've been with us for 4 months, 3 months, and some of them, it's time to make a decision if we keep them, if we let them go, or we give them another month or 2 to see how they're actually progressing. Because I do feel some of the lads' developments, aren't that good, and I'm not really happy with the standard of player that we've got back so far. I'm still hopeful that we will find a hidden gem, but come later in the season, I think what we'll do is, perhaps after the January window, or round about the January window time, is pull the scouts back and then send them out somewhere else, and just try and get a new generation of players coming through. But there's a few players there who I think we should keep an eye out on. Mario Bastos, he looks quite good. We're going to sign him on a contract. I definitely like the look of him. I think he could be a potential holding midfield player. But you never know with the Brazilians. They look like they could be a CDM and they end up being a striker or a winger. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him. But there's some good players and some bad players. I've got to say, specifically, the Brazilians, the youth players coming back from Brazil, are probably the worst I've seen. They're statistically not as strong as the Aussies. who we're looking at, and of course they're not as strong as the English, and we're looking just for physical players in the English, but we're looking for the technically gifted from Brazil, so it is a bit of a bizarre moment. Anyway, that aside, we're moving swiftly on to our next league game, which is against Norwich City, and we're not going to put out a soft side. We're putting out a solid side. You will see in there, Reece Burke will be making his home debut in the BPL under my tenureship, which I think is absolutely fantastic. He's done well in the cup games, and I feel he deserves a call-up into the league, and that also gives us an opportunity to rest a few players. Our form currently is not very good. You know, we had that 1-0 win against Manchester United, we drew against Swansea, we lost against Spurs. Slight dip in form. We really need to start putting it right in this game, and as you can see, Norwich came out and started the brighter and had an absolute gift with Johnson, but he put it wide when it was so easy to put it in. That was a sigh of relief. We got away with it. Then Downing picks up the ball after Kouyaté just bummels into them, absolutely destroys them. Valencia tries to play the sneaky 1-2, gets it back off, I believe it was Basson, the Norwich centre-back, just plays a 1-2 with him. Obviously he was trying to play it with his own player, but unfortunately it did not come off, and he just slotted it in that bottom corner. And it's great to see Valencia on the score sheet. As you can see there, just there, completely bewilders the Norwich defender. Of course, he will say after, if you ask him after the match, he meant that. We all know he's trying to slot in. I believe it was Noble getting forward. He probably had a nosebleed getting that far forward. But it was absolutely fantastic finish. Jarvo picking up the ball, knocking it into the genius Noble, who plays a delightful ball into Valencia. He breaks into the area. Forrester shot it. And what an absolute huge defensive block there from Norwich. Absolutely massive. And Noble, again, spreading the play out to Jarvo. Left-hand side. Jarvo knocking the ball forward into Downing, who is in absolutely sublime form. He cuts inside into the box, goes for the shot, sticks it onto the post, and it ends up being an easy clearance for Norwich. We should be at least 2 or 3-0 up by now. Absolutely outplaying Norwich, tearing them apart. Again, Noble with a delightful ball into Embolo. Embolo into the box, onto the post, and we should be at least maybe 3-4-0 up at this stage of the game. And as you can see, the referee does take pity on them and thinks, do you know what, I'm going to bring the half to the end. They're getting torn to shreds, so we're only leading through Enner Valencia's goal to give us that 1-0 lead. We've really got to start putting our chances away. It's frustrating creating these chances and not finishing them. It's really annoying. We've got to start taking them, but great ball from Noble into Jarvo, into the box, right foot, and a huge save yet again from the Norwich keeper. He has to be man of the match. I don't think there's any other person who should be man of the match. He's absolutely keeping Norwich alive at this moment in time. Beautiful ball from Jarvo to Downing, to the back post, and then Bolo with the volley, and again the Norwich keeper with a huge save, but Downing with the corner into Kouyaté. Kouyaté finds the back of the net to give us a 2-0 lead in the 64th minute, and you've got to say that goal had most definitely been coming. It should have been like the 5th or the 6th goal, but it wasn't. It made it 2-0. We had absolutely torn Norwich to shreds. Our goal difference would have been looking spectacular if we'd put some of these chances away. But the main thing is the ball hasn't changed yet again. That so annoys me. Why does the ball, when I change the ball in the settings, why does it not stay? It's so frustrating. That aside, my little moan aside, just think of our goal difference. It'd just be absolutely amazing. But that aside, keeping a clean sheet is just as important as Embolo again fires that shot wide. He really is an absolute handful. And I decided in the 72nd minute to give the boys a bit of a rest. Valencia, Kouyaté and Noble take off the big boys who had absolutely dominated this game. Kouyaté was another level of domination. But look at Embolo picking up that ball deep, just running at the Norwich defence. He knows that they're scared of his pace. He knows that they can't handle him. A delightful ball in for Poulsen into Embolo, who goes for the header, but unfortunately he just mistimed that run. But what a beautiful move by the young man. He's such a revelation. He really is. With the final moments of the game, you can see one of our lads goes down from that corner. It's nothing too serious, nothing to worry about. He got a bit of an elbow and he just fell over like a bit of a girl's blouse, but nothing too much to worry about. But the man of the match for me had to be Kouyaté. Absolutely dominated the game. A sublime midfield performance. He literally set it up for Noble to be a genius. He dominated with strength. He was so physical. He was box to box. It was absolutely scary to watch him. Absolutely brilliant. Andy Carroll comes to me, sends me an email. My role at the club. He wants to prove to me. The problem is, my man, so many people are playing so well at the moment. You've got to force your way into the team. You have got to force your way into the team. It is that simple. We're going to have a little look at the lads who we actually have signed, officially signed on youth contracts. Obviously, we haven't given them professional contracts at the moment. We've got Joshua Mullen, we've got Mario Bastos, Scott Lewis and Thomas Bratan. So it'll be interesting to see which ones we do sign, which were, of course, we're going to sign a couple of players. Yes, we are. Well, hopefully, we're going to offer them a couple of contracts. Now, if you do follow me on Twitter, you would have seen a couple of little hashtags. Oh yes, career mode information released on Twitter. I know it's very, very naughty, but my Twitter is One Diablo. No, it's not. It's at Real Devil Sniper. But my Twitter name is One Diablo, which of course is the West Ham manager currently. I'm going to leave you with that league table, and I'm going to go have a cup of tea, have some Jaffa cakes, and have an extremely big smile because we have 14 games into the seasons. 10 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, 19 goals, conceded 3. I can defend. It's ridiculous.
I used to dream about cars and things, about being a star and things. I thought that